Hey guys, this is Brad, aka Dark Ender. You gotta bear with me, it's been a very long time since I've made a video. And I was browsing Facebook the other day and I came across this wonderful looking cereal, at least wonderful from the pictures, called Magic Spoon. It seemed a little bit too good to be true, and I looked up the reviews on their website, and it kind of looked like there was some shilling going on where they had like these kind of fake names posting, saying the cereal's great and everything. So I really love healthy alternatives to otherwise normally unhealthy items like chips and cereal. So I decided to give them a try. And I have this box opened up, this is the only one I've opened up so far because I wanted to make sure that, I had a bowl last night and I wanted to make sure that there wasn't going to be any gastrointestinal issues from having a bowl of it, because sometimes with these highly processed foods with some ingredients that you're not used to eating, it may definitely upset your stomach. So I am happy to report that everything was all good. I didn't get sick, I didn't get bloated or anything like that, so I'm very happy with that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to open up each one of these. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and hopefully you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to purchase these cereals. Okay, so I have taken them all out of their boxes because I wanted to show you the nutrition information on the box. First of all, the boxes are pretty much like any other cereal box, the small size, not like the big family size ones that you're used to seeing in the grocery store. They all have pretty much exactly the same nutrition facts. And I'm going to show you those real quick. As you can see, 110 calories, lots of protein, not a whole lot of carbs. And I don't know if you could see the ingredients list, but basically it goes protein blend, coconut oil, tapioca flour, a sweetener blend, which is allulose, monk fruit, and stevia blend. It has some chicory root fiber, and then depending on which flavor you're going to have some different flavorings after that. For instance, this is the cocoa one, and it has cocoa powder, natural flavors, and salt. And the carbs on the label say 8 grams per serving. But they're going to tell you it's 3 grams per serving, because once you subtract out the fiber and the allulose, your net carbs come down to 3 grams. Okay, they have 4 flavors as of right now. We have cocoa, which you just saw. We have frosted, which is supposed to, I guess, emulate Frosted Flakes. The cocoa would probably be like Cocoa Puffs or something along those lines. Fruity, which is probably meant to be Fruit Loops. And then you have cinnamon, which the most obvious one I can think about for that would be Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay, the boxes also have some neat little mazes on the back of it, kind of like the boxes for cereal. If you remember back when you were a kid, sitting at the table, you play the little games on the back of it. So that's a pretty nice little touch. All right, so taking a look at the cereal itself, the first strange thing is that they all do look the exact same. So other than the color, they're all little O's, kind of like Fruit Loops. More like Fruit Loops than Cheerios is what you're going to be expecting here. So definitely almost exactly like a Fruit Loop would look. So that was the fruity one, the pink one I just showed you. This is going to be the frosted one. That one almost has like a yellowish tint to it. And then you got cocoa, which is a nice dark brown. And then lastly, cinnamon, which is a lighter toasted brown looking color. Okay, so I'm going to taste each one of them without milk first, and then I'm going to take a taste of it with milk. The first thing I can tell you, because again, I have tried this one last night, is what I find absolutely miraculous about these things is they do not get soggy in milk. I ate on a bowl of this for probably 7 or 8 minutes, and that entire duration, the texture of the cereal did not change at all. And normally, any kind of cereal you would eat would get very, very, very soggy and start to fall apart in the bowl. Not the case with this cereal. So let's start with the fruity. I'll tell you a little bit about it. And for each of the different cereals, I'm going to tell you about the flavor, the texture, and I'm going to tell you how they compare or what flavor they compare to with, you know, your conventional cereal, because I do consider myself a bit of a cereal connoisseur, and I have eaten plenty of it in my day, especially when I used to be quite a bit bigger. And then after I get through tasting each of them, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how they compare nutritionally to regular cereal, the price versus your normal cereal, and then I'll go over some final thoughts about whether I would buy it again. Okay, so let's start out with the taste of the fruity flavor. So I'm just gonna. Okay. Yeah, this one was really, really good last night. If I had to give it an overall flavor, not comparing it to anything, I would definitely say it's probably about a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Let me try one more. Okay, so unlike with normal cereal, the flavor hits you on the tongue immediately, and then it fades extremely quickly. So there's no like bad aftertaste or anything like that. It's just kind of like you're immediately, when you're crunching down into it, reminded a little bit of a conventional cereal, and then that almost immediately goes away. The flavor does not last very long at all. As far as texture is concerned, it's absolutely unbelievable. You would not know that you are, you know, if you were blindfolded and someone put this in your mouth, they would think that it is, you know, you'd be thinking that it is almost exactly like a Fruit Loop in terms of texture. Now, comparing this to a normal flavor, this isn't quite like a Fruit Loop in terms of flavor. It's going to be more along the lines of like a combination between a Fruit Loop and a Fruity Pebble, actually. I'm not getting any notes of like marshmallow or anything like that. It's definitely kind of splitting the difference between a Fruit Loop and a Fruity Pebble. So that one's really, really good. So let's try the cocoa one next. I didn't talk about the smell of the fruity one, but it actually smells exactly like Fruity Pebbles. Definitely doesn't smell like Fruit Loops, definitely Fruity Pebbles. Okay, the cocoa one, it has a really nice, rich, chocolatey smell to it. Okay, let's give it a try. Wow. Has a very, very dark chocolatey flavor. Lightly sweet tasting. Again, it hits you immediately, and then it kind of chills out. This flavor might last just a little bit longer than the flavor on the fruity ones. It's actually very, very pleasant. The texture is the exact same. So I'm guessing because they use the same protein blend for all of these, that you're going to get the same great texture on every single one of these. Yeah, very good. Okay, now as far as comparing it, I would definitely say, again, this is not just like a cocoa puff in flavor. It definitely kind of splits the difference, because there are subtle differences between Cocoa Puffs and like chocolate Fruity Pebbles that, you know, I don't know exactly what they're called, but the chocolate version of Fruity Pebbles. But overall, very good. Moving on to the frosted ones. Now these are, of course, trying to emulate Frosted Flakes, I would imagine, which is going to be a little bit odd because the texture is definitely going to be way, way, way different than what you're used to with Frosted Flakes. Oh, they smell like a birthday cake. Oh, nice vanilla-y sort of scent. Really nice. Okay, flavor. Okay. Not exactly what I was expecting here. I was definitely expecting them to taste a lot like Frosted Flakes. They really don't. They're giving me more of a, definitely like a yellow or vanilla cake. You know, without the frosting on it, obviously. They're good. They're not at all like Frosted Flakes, or honestly, like any other cereal I think that I've ever had. That's not necessarily a bad thing. They're actually pretty good. They're probably my least favorite out of the other so far out of the 3 that I've tried. Okay, now this is the one that I'm the most excited about because I freaking love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I'm going to be very disappointed if these are not quite close to the flavor of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Here we go. Oh yeah. Okay. These, hands down, are the best one out of all 4 of the flavors. Oh, look at this one. It's like one of them got stuck together. Let's give it a whirl and see if it's terrible or good. Actually, really, really good. Okay. These are the closest ones in terms of flavor to an actual cereal. They are pretty much exactly like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you were to put it into the little wafer shape that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is in, these would taste extremely, extremely similar, like 95% of the way there. They have, again, just like all the other ones, there's really no aftertaste. The flavor, though, on these lasts on your palate a whole lot longer than the other ones, so that's a definite plus. And again, the texture exact same as the other ones. Okay, it's time to put them in some milk. And I'm just going to do a little test for each one of them. Just a spoon worth, because I don't want to waste them, because they were quite expensive, which we will get onto after this. And I've opened all of them up at once. I'm really, really hoping that since they stayed crunchy in milk, that maybe they're not going to go stale. They are highly, highly, highly processed, kind of. So I'm hoping with this array of ingredients in it that they do not go stale like normal cereal. But I am sure I will be able to get rid of them before they do go stale, though. All right. Crap, this is not looking good. Okay, there we go. Whoa. And I'm using Fairlife milk. This is pretty neutral tasting milk. I mean, it tastes just like normal milk is what I'm trying to say. There's no funky flavors. It's not almond milk or anything like that. So if this is going to give you an idea of what they taste like, pretty much with normal milk, like most people, would compare cereals with. Because I don't do keto or anything like that. I'm just kind of, I like looking for things that are high in protein and give you, a healthier alternative to what you normally eat. Okay, so fruity first with a little bit of milk. Yeah, just like I was saying earlier, it doesn't really change it too much. It's still, very, very pleasant. The flavor of the milk complements it really well, and still the same in terms of flavor, just like half Fruity Pebble, half Fruit Loop. Very good. Okay, cocoa. If you're a fan of dark chocolate, you're really going to like this one. It really persists on the palate for quite a while. That the same sort of aftertaste you get with a nice dark chocolate. Definitely like a little hint of bitterness there too. A good bitterness though, not a bad bitterness. Okay. Frosted now. The ones that I said taste a lot like birthday cake. Or not necessarily birthday cake, but any kind of vanilla or yellow cake mix. Okay. My sentiment on that one hasn't really changed. It tastes completely bizarre alongside the other ones. I'm not sure what flavor they were aiming at with that one. I feel like they could have done a little bit better with that particular flavor, because it's obvious they're marketing these to compete with these classic cereals that you're used to having as a child. So that one is definitely a little bit disappointing. The other two are good. And now the one that I thought was the best in the dry taste test, the cinnamon. Let's give it a try. Yeah, and this is again still easily the best one out of the four. That one's awesome. Okay, now that I've tried all of them in milk, they all hold up really well. Nothing, they taste about the same dry as they do with milk. All the flavors kind of complement the milk well, so they're all good on that account. And I will go over all the flavors and rank them at the very, very end. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about, because we're talking about nutrition here, and my first concern is that these are really good probably for someone who's on keto or something like that. They have a specific amount of carbs that they are ingesting per day because they do not want to come out of ketosis. These are going to be good for those people because, again, 3 net carbs per serving. I'm going to tell you the difference. Okay, so normally a cereal is usually done in 3/4 cups or 1 cup servings. This one is in 1/2 of a cup. So at first you look at the nutrition label and it looks about the same as any other cereal, maybe slightly less calories than the usual sugary cereals, but once you realize it's only 1/2 a cup, this is much more nutritionally dense than any normal cereal that you're gonna buy. It does have much higher calories, but also you're getting much more protein, which is definitely a good thing. So per 1/2 of a cup, 110 calories in the Magic Spoon. I'm going to compare it to Frosted Flakes because most of the really sugary processed cereals, they're going to have about the same amount of calories, give or take a few. And we're only talking about the sugary processed ones, not things like Kashi, Fiber One, all those. Those are going to have drastically different nutrition content. So 110 calories per 1/2 of a cup of the Magic Spoon. Frosted Flakes has 77 calories, so quite a few less than this. Again, this is much more nutritionally dense. This has way more fat in it as well. Not that that matters. This has 6 grams of fat per 1/2 cup, whereas Frosted Flakes doesn't even have a gram of fat in it per 1/2 of a cup. The next notable one is carbs. The carbs in this come in at 8 before you account for the net carbs on it. Frosted Flakes, 1/2 of a cup, has 19 carbs. So this has way less, about 1/6 of the carbs that your normal Frosted Flakes have per 1/2 of a cup. Fiber, you have 2 grams. Normal Frosted Flakes have 0.5 grams, so this has 4 times more fiber. Sugar, this has 3 grams of total actual sugars. So that's not counting the sugar alcohols, which are going to be the allulose, monk fruit extract, stevia extract, all that. Those do count as sugar alcohols, but on the actual label, you have 3 grams of total sugars per 1/2 cup. Frosted Flakes, you're going to have 7.5, so 2.5 times more grams of sugar. Lastly, and this is where the Magic Spoon absolutely kills it, is the protein. 1/2 of a cup of the Magic Spoon has 12 grams of protein, which is absolutely incredible. Frosted Flakes, a measly 0.8 grams of protein. So much more nutritionally dense. You're getting fats and proteins in the place of your carbohydrates as the calorie count for these Magic Spoon cereals. So what that should do is it should make you feel a lot fuller, a lot longer. You're going to stay satisfied. You're not going to be coming back really quick like you do with high carb things that spike your blood sugar and then you're going to crash and you're going to get hungry again. That should not happen with the Magic Spoon quite as much, especially if you go and use a low carb milk substitute or something along those lines. Of course, normal milk does have quite a few sugars in it. This is, I love Fairlife milk. It has way less calories than normal milk. It's basically super filtered milk. It has way more protein because when they're filtering it out, you think about they're filtering out some of the lactose portion of the milk, it kind of concentrates the protein down in it. It has way more sugar, or way less sugar, I should say, than regular milk does as well. I really, really like it. Great flavor. Okay, last thing we need to talk about. So I already told you the nutrition versus normal cereal. Now I'm going to give you the ratings for all 4 of the cereals. Move these out of the way because I don't want them to spill everywhere. So, last place, let's start with that first. And this was easy. It's the frosted one. It just doesn't taste like any other cereal that I've ever had. It's not particularly satisfying. Am I going to eat it? Yeah, I'm going to eat it. I paid a lot for it, which we still haven't gotten to that yet. But it's just, I was not impressed at all with the frosted Magic Spoon. Okay, second place. Now, this, or not second place, third place rather. This is going to be really, really close. I'm going to say, based off my personal preference, third place is going to go to the fruity cereal. And again, it's really, really close with the cocoa one, but the fruity one just tastes maybe a little bit more bizarre. It's a little bit more fake tasting, I would say, than the cocoa one and the cinnamon one. So that's probably why I'm going to give this one a third place. Next is going to be cocoa. The reason it comes in second rather than third is because it does have a bit more of a traditional flavor. It tastes like something I've tasted before. It has that really nice dark chocolate flavor to it, and it lasts a bit longer on the tongue. It's really, really nice. I like this one. That gets second. And then, of course, cinnamon, it's no contest here. This is definitely the one that I would buy again and again and again. So, cinnamon, first place, tastes just like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Really awesome. Okay, so the big elephant in the room, though, of this whole thing, which we haven't talked about yet, is the price. And it's a bit of a doozy. So if you were to go and buy a normal name brand cereal with this size box, you're looking at about $3, $3.50, something along those lines. This costs $10 per box. And that's what you really need to think about when you're debating whether or not you want to actually buy this cereal. It is very, very, very expensive. Shipping, I can't remember if shipping was free or not. I want to say that it was not. I think it was $4 or $5 in shipping, but I'm not 100% sure. When you do go to buy these, you can choose between a variety pack, which is what I got, or you can get a set of 4 boxes of whichever flavor you want, which if I were to order again, of course, I'd get 4 boxes of the cinnamon flavored cereal. And it took probably about 3 or 4 days for it to get here after they processed my order. They do ship via UPS, so depending on where you are on a UPS route, mine didn't get here till 9 p.m. last night. I was planning on making this video yesterday, but lo and behold, at 9 p.m. the UPS man did arrive. I am at the end of his route, unfortunately. The main thing I want to tell you, that I love about this is, first of all, I remember I said earlier, it stays crunchy in milk. That's a really big deal for me. I really like the fact that it keeps its texture. While we're also talking about the texture, again, it has a really great texture and it is unbelievable, but it does get kind of stuck in the cavities of your teeth. And, you know, when you go to try to pick it out of your teeth, it's kind of strange. It's a little bit different than anything else that you've ever had. There's a little bit of an off texture to it when it becomes compounded and is stuck in your teeth. So that's something to think about. The price, again, is really, really steep. And the nutrition is really good. So you kind of have to weigh all the things I told you about, like the price. And you definitely don't need to worry about the flavor, except for maybe the frosted one. I think most people are going to like this. But if you are really interested in high protein, low carb cereal that's going to make you feel a lot better and it's going to keep you fuller longer, then I definitely recommend these if you can afford them. It's kind of a luxury item. So for me, am I going to buy it again? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. If I were to buy one, again, it would be the cinnamon flavored one. But I just don't know if I can. I track calories more than anything else. I don't really care about my macronutrients all that much. I do try to keep more proteins and fats than I do carbs. So this is a nice option for keeping my carb count down. But, you know, cereal is kind of a splurge item for me anyway. So every now and then when I want to have a cheat day, I will have some real cereal. And real cereal you know, I'm not going to try to pull the wool over your eyes. It's better than this, but not by much, especially this. This is 95% of the way there. This one I'm going to say more like 80, the cocoa. The fruity one is probably about 70% of the way to comparing to actual unhealthy cereal. And the frosted one, that's more like 50. It still keeps the nice texture and all that of the other ones, but the flavor definitely not there on that one. So if you like the video, if it helped you out, helped you make an informed decision on buying the Magic Spoon cereal, you'll probably see it on your Facebook because they're going to be pushing this a whole lot, then please give me a thumbs up, like the video. I don't know if I'm going to be making more videos. This is a kind of an experimental thing. I haven't made them in quite a while, but I would be interested in making some more reviews or something. I just kind of have to test the waters a bit before I decide whether or not I want to do more. So again, this is Brad, aka Dark Ender, and I will see you all hopefully with the next video. Bye.